Hey Met fans, Brian here at Mets Mayhem. We're not going to have the usual recap video for this game. Mets lost 5-1. Very lackluster performance from beginning to end. David Peterson picked up the loss. Mets only had 4 hits. 2 of those 4 hits were by Francisco Alvarez, who will get the Mets Mayhem player of this game by default. Alvarez was 2 for 3. He brought his average up to 314. I'm hoping to see the power start to come around. Hopefully to the point where Alvarez then gets moved up in the lineup. The middle of our lineup is very pedestrian right now. The Mets 4 through 6th, 4 to 7 if you include McNeil as well, leave a lot to be desired. It might be a hot take right now, but I'm very underwhelmed by Peterson's season thus far. I was fully expecting him to take his game to the next level. He's made 7 starts this season, and in 4 of those games he's walked 1 or less. 3 of those he didn't walk anyone, which is fantastic. However, the other 3, he's walked 3 batters twice, and he's walked 4 in this game. He's allowed more hits than innings pitched, which is never a good sign for a pitcher. 40 hits in 38 and 1/3 innings. And the league is batting .268 against him. Last year they batted .243. So there's some underlying things here that don't look good. He is throwing his sinker more this year than he was last year, his fastball less. So maybe he's trying to pitch to contact more, but I would assume be more early on in the count to get quick outs. Not down on him per se quite yet, but I just was expecting more from him, and I'm hoping that he kind of picks it up. The walks are not acceptable. He needs to put away batters. It was kind of giving that feel of Zach Wheeler early on and Tyler McGill, where they would get ahead of batters and they couldn't just finish them off. Just not many positives to pull from this game. I apologize for that. Brandon Nimmo, after his breakout game at the plate, he's kind of went into hibernation. Now he's tweaked the knee, something worth monitoring now. Brett Baty was called up to do what exactly? I don't understand what was the point of bringing him up if he's not going to play. I don't understand why Marte is being pushed as an everyday player. If the thought process at the beginning of the season was that Marte was not an everyday player, and he needs to be part of the platoon at DH, with Winker getting the bulk of the at-bats against righties and Marte just getting against lefties, then when you have a lefty and Winker go down the IL and you bring a lefty and Brett Baty up, why didn't you continue that? Not only that, but Marte is struggling even in his role against lefties in the DH role. So explain to me why Baty at the very least isn't assuming Winker's role. Explain to me even more why Marte is getting pushed to bat in the cleanup hole. I'm sorry, I just don't agree with that. And what happened to our rookie of the month in April? Not sure why Acuna's been sitting the last 2 games. McNeil has been awful at the plate. At this point, even if we got the 2023 version of McNeil, I still would rather Acuna. He's the better fit for this team. High average, great defense. Brings the energy that's infectious to a veteran team. And he steals bases. So I don't think a 2023 version of McNeil, which I don't think is a lot to be ambitious and aim for, versus what we're getting now, is the better player than Acuna is. So I keep seeing Met fans, or possibly Met haters, on X, commenting how the Mets just aren't a good team. How the calendar changed, things got harder. Complete BS. This is a good team. We were never as good as we started off. We were on such an insane pace early on. So we come back down to earth some. That's fine. But I'll tell you this. Even when we were doing insanely well and winning almost every night, and the vibe is just immaculate, we still have the same problems. We don't have a legit cleanup hitter. We don't have a legit protection for Alonso. We have never had legit protection for Alonso. Since the DH has been established in the National League, we don't have a legit DH. We've never addressed it. Winker and Marte this year, just not it. Vientos at third base is another issue. His defense is not good. He makes a good play here and there, and because he's so abysmal normally, it makes it seem like it's better than it was. Right now, Brett Baty should be playing third. Mark Vientos should be the DH. Acuna should be playing second base. If Nimmo needs some time off or needs to go on the IL, then McNeil needs to go to left field. Otherwise, McNeil needs to play center field when we have a pitcher who is ground ball dependent early on in the game and then taken out for defense, or switched over to left field and take Nimmo out for defense if Nimmo's banged up. But late in the game, bring Taylor on for defense in center field. But other than that, I think the clock is ticking on some Met players. The clock is ticking on McNeil. If he's not going to hit for power, and he's not going to hit for close to, if not over 300, I don't really see a use for him on this team. Nimmo, Vientos, the DH position, McNeil. That's 4 slots in his lineup that play pretty much on a daily basis and are giving us almost nothing. I know it's very early on. It's highly unlikely that teams are going to look to make trades at this point in time. And if you do reach out to a team, they're probably going to try to rob you. So the change is probably going to have to be internal. Players are going to have to produce, or you're going to have to give a bats to someone else and give them the opportunity to see if they can do it. So Wednesday, Mets Diamondbacks play Game 3 of the 3-game series. Kodai Senga on the mound. He needs to bounce back from his last start. He was given an extra day of rest and then just, fell flat in his face. He needs to go deeper in the game. He needs to keep us in this game. He needs to, dare I say, dominate this game and get us the win. He's going up against Merrill Kelly. Kelly's 3-1 with a 4.06 ERA this season. I'll be back after this game to provide the recap, provide any other noteworthy Mets news. But until then, Met fans, let's go Mets.